Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up on a Saturday. I'm Run7. How you doing? So we have Guy with Sword today, sent in his defense, and he's got the last of our Eternals Chavez showcase. I'm sure we'll see more of them in the future, but we did 3 of these recording today, so you know, it's kind of the theme we're running with. We grade on 5 different criteria: who are using, their place on their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. I'm just trying to get through these fast because we got a great discussion that's going on today, which happened 2 days ago as the time of you viewing this. Time travel's hard, man. Okay, we got Hydra 1.0, no Zemo, that's okay. You got a big Grenadier because you like to use him maybe on an offensive team with Zemo, that's okay too. I like this team, I like where you put your investment. I think your ISOs are good native ISOs. You can also go Fortifier across the board on those minions, but I actually think these are great native ISOs for this team, so it's a good job. The only thing I would say is put Red Skull somewhere in the middle. He has, you know, he takes 0 damage in the beginning, and having him, like, you could go into this with chain attacks or splash damage and be getting 3 people at the same time. So it's splitting hairs, but it's a thing you can do to improve it. So I'm going to give you an A- for this team. Pretty good. Team number 2 is a Pimtech team with Shuri. Why do we have Shuri in here instead of Wasp? That's weird. I guess it's just a 3-piece team. Whatevs. It's something to do with Shuri. It's different. I mean, it's not like Wasp is adding a lot of value. She's just placing vulnerables with her AoE as a raider. You got Healer on Stature. I think she should actually be a Fortifier. She's one of the rare cases where Fortifier works better because she's a little bit squishy for a person that taunts, and you want her to maintain that taunt longer. She will toss that taunt off when she gets low on health, and so that's a thing you can do, is put Fortifier on her. But I don't know. Probably just make her war ready. Yeah, the war ready as a healer is better than redoing the ISO as a Fortifier. I like everything else you're doing here. This is fine. I'm going to give you an A- for this team. Nothing wrong with it. It's an interesting thing putting Shuri in here so they get defense up. Maybe there's some tech synergy going on here. I'm not really sure, but you're definitely increasing this number up here. Whoops, is that right? This number right here, you're increasing that number up here, and that's a good thing to do. You'll just draw in bigger teams. It's a junk filler team, but you probably have the Pimtech lane in raids, and that's why you invested in Yellow Jacket, and you're throwing in Shuri to make the team look even more scary. So good job there, A-. Moving on, team number 3 is a Marauder build with... Okay, here's something a little different. You put in Falcon to help speed this team up. Now, Falcon's speed up maneuver comes turn 2. It's a little bit slow on defense, but it might help. I mean, this team is old and busted anyways. You've got Minerva in there trying to revive somebody. In case Falcon gets killed, he could be revived, but Strife is probably going to be the one that gets killed first. I don't know. Something to do. Strife's taunt is going to come in a little bit late. You'll have opportunities to disrupt him because there's only 2 villain mutants. I do like that you're trying something new with Falcon. It can't hurt. And the Minerva in there to keep Falcon alive or revive him or whatever is interesting. I like Raider on Falcon. That's good. I like all the ISOs you're using. They're great. I like that you only took Mystique to gear tier 12. That's great. That's where everybody should be stopping. Even a gear tier 12 on great big Marauder teams. She's still one of the last to die because she goes invisible and nobody really cares. She doesn't do that much damage to warrant like making her a hot target, you know? It's usually you go after like Sabretooth, you know, after you get, you know, after you deal with Emma Strife's situation. Okay, yeah, I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an A for this team. You're doing everything fine. It is, Marauders at this point are a junk filler team, and we're just kind of trying to find something fun to do with the pieces. So this is something. You're giving it some speed, which it is kind of a slow team, so I like it. All right. Team number 4 is a Brotherhood. Oh, look at this. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yesterday, the day before, we had a Brotherhood Surfer team. Now we got a Brotherhood Ultron team. Again, we want to keep the Brotherhood danger level in there and make people think about wasting their X Factor on it, but we're moving Doom to other places or using him on offense because of these Eternal Chavez defenses that are coming out. And we also have YA teams that are available, and so we want to save our X Factor for the YA teams. And so this is a great team to be putting out. They're trying to draw off the X Factor into this. Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to end up having this taken down by like an Axeman or something because of the bots, and they'll you know, take the speed off, you know. Giving Ultron the Fortifier, I do like that, keeping him alive. You're utilizing his bots and the things that are happening from his bots rather than Ultron doing damage because he's been power crept. You do have red stars on him though, so that's cool. I like the Fortifier. That Ultron's gonna have a hard time dying, and because you have Juggernaut and Blob in there, Ultron's gonna get his bots going. So I do see a speed meta team coming after this. Any speed meta team that can survive the opening of a Brotherhood and get going, so probably not Symbiotes, probably Axemen, I think is how this team is gonna be taken down. Maybe be thinking about that as you make adjustments, like, would you like to swap out Juggernaut for Deathpool? Something like that. Well, actually, Deathpool would help with that X Factor. So don't do that. You don't want to scare away the X Factor. You want X Factor teams to come into this. So I don't know. Think about it. But I think you're doing everything fine here. You got Stryker on Magneto. You should probably change him. No, I see. He's the only Stryker out there, and you got 2 people putting out vulnerables. You got Blob as a skirmisher on this build. That's great. He's not going to be rewinding much turn meter as a Stryker, so not on this. So skirmisher's the way to go. You got Juggernaut as a fortifier. I like everything you're doing here. You could make Toad level 5 skirmisher, give him that focus boost. He doesn't really need it, but I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, A for this team. I think it's a great place to put your Ultron, that big Ultron like that. I think it's great. Plus, this team needs a little bit of sustainability, a little bit of speed if they want to survive going round 2, you know, because they open up big. So it's cool. I like it. A for this team. Team number 5 is the Mercs with Ultimus. You got a big Merc team. You're probably seeing Skeletal come into this, so you put Ultimus in there to counter that Skeletal team. That's a good idea. You went Fortifier on Lieutenant to stop that X-Force team. Because he is the smallest power level. That's probably a good move, actually, at this level. You're thinking about counters and what's going into it, and I like it. And then you got Skirmisher on Taskmaster, Stryker on everybody else with great placement. I love everything you're doing with this team. I'm going to give you an A+ for this. I'm really happy with this. You covered both ends of the counters, of the primary counters for this team, and I think you're doing really good. If you decide to take Lieutenant up to gear tier 14, you could then switch him over to another ISO, but honestly, he doesn't get a lot of value out of the Stryker ISO because he only attacks every other turn. So really, probably just keep it as is. I think it's great. I think it's great. Don't change anything. Just leave it. Great team. Good job. All right. Team number 6 is an Inhumans hybrid. Okay, you got Coulson in here. I think he's a great fit for this. Lots of synergy. Ooh, something to do with that G14 Invisible Woman that we were forced to build. I like it. She's got fortifiers, so no one's going to kill her off quick. She's going to give this team a cleanse and barrier and invisibility and all kinds of things. So that's really cool. You've got a lot of sustainability in this team. Plus, it opens up quick with Coulson as a Stryker, rewinding turn meter. You have 2 people putting out vulnerables, 2 Strykers soaking them up. I love everything you're doing here. This is an A for this team. I really like it. Good job. Team number 7, New Warriors. You went with Surfer and Emma. This is another popular build. I prefer the Drax build because Drax isn't a very important character and he makes it a little bit more tricky to control this team. Whereas the Shadowlands can come in here and control this team, and you may be finding some Shadowlands that are 700k and can come in and deal with this. Maybe not, I don't know. Just watch your histories. If you see Shadowlands handling this team, then you should probably swap out Surfer for Drax. But as is, I think it's really good. You have 3 Strykers, 1 Skirmisher, but that's okay because we know that the New Warriors actually put out a lot more vulnerables than their ISOs showcase them as doing. I think everything is fine in this team. Yeah, you put Surfer adjacent to Dagger so he can have that offense up all the time. That's good. That's good. I mean, you could put Cloak next to Dagger, but a lot of people like to do the Surfer next to Dagger. That's good. So I like it. A for this team. Good job. Okay. Heroes for Hire. We have Fortifier, Skirmisher, Stryker, Skirmisher, Raider. Yeah, I dig it. Perfect placement, perfect ISOs. It's an A for this team. Good job. Team number 9 is the YA. The full YA, right? Oh no, we're missing somebody. Who are we missing? Who are we missing? It's America Chavez. Wonder where she's gonna be. I laugh at my own jokes because no one else will. Okay, sorry. We went Skirmisher, Stryker, 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 Healer. I do believe that we should be switching Squirrel Girl to a Stryker. I don't think she needs the healer anymore. Don't change her. You already put the investment in it, so leave her as is. You could even take her up to the level 2.3 healer. That's fine. It's not a big difference, but for people who are building Squirrel Girl, I think go ahead and just make her a Stryker for most builds. Or for this build, for sure. Now, this team does not get the speed up for Kate Bishop and Echo, making them very slow and much easier to come into. But I think you're still going to be drawing in the Zemo Factor teams with this. Like, I wouldn't mess around with it. I don't care how slow they are. I'm still going to take my Zemo Factor into this team to control it. It's just going to give me a little bit more opportunity to get in front of those two characters. So I think this is fantastic. I think if you're a person who unlocked the whole team, I think you should be doing this. I think you should be doing something like this. We saw in one of the previous videos a Hero Brawler Young Avenger team where they had all the characters unlocked, but they were still making 2 defenses out of it. And I think Theory Crafters just step up to the plate and you have opportunities to knock it out of the park. So I don't know if Psylocke is a great pick, but she does have a late cleanse, which is going to help, especially since you're going to be wanting to ability block certain characters. Now you have 2 characters you have to ability block. So Guy with Sword was thinking on this one. He's a smart kid, and he's doing really well. I have no idea how old. He could be 60 years old. I have no idea. I use kid a lot. Whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I like the team. If you see that this team is getting you DVs, Guy with Sword, you might even consider taking Psylocke up a gear notch. If it's working, you know, make sure it works, you know, as you get into tougher and tougher wars. It's something to do. Let me know your histories, man. Oh, I'm gonna give you an A+ for this. A+, because you took Scopely's super team and made 2 super teams. Because here is the other super team. It's Chavez with... okay, so we saw this in yesterday's video. It's Doom and Cersei are the ones getting sped up. Now Cersei's gonna rewind turn meter, and Doom's gonna get going to his time platform faster. And then that'll give Icarus enough time to go off. Cersei softens up the opponents, so Icarus is more apt to give a double tap. And then just to make things even more interesting, you threw in a big Phoenix who's going to cleanse and give some cover to these characters, so that basically anybody going into this is going to have to eat Doom's ult. Like, he's going to get there. It's going to be super hard to try and, like, you'd have to come in and ability block Phoenix and then ability block Doom, and Doom's already sped up getting to his second turn on much faster. Not to mention you've got turn meter rewind going on with those Eternals just blowing the crap out of everything. It's, yeah, this is a crazy good team, a real winner in my book. You've got 1 skirmisher, 2 strikers. Doom is a fortifier, so you're not going to kill him before he ults. Phoenix is a fortifier, so she has the opportunity to gain cover in case they were thinking about just trying to kill her quick and just letting Dark Phoenix come out, which I don't know why you'd want to do that either. Like, that's one more threat to deal with. Like, yeah, just lots of threatening stuff, lots of speed, explosions, and power, and you're doing it with just 1 character that you didn't even need to purchase to unlock. Most of us have America Chavez just sitting around, right? Again, I think you could make America Chavez a skirmisher to add some vulnerables to the field. I don't think you're getting a lot of damage out of her off of her team. You know, her team gives her a lot of damage, I think. There's a lot of passives going on there that are getting boosted by her five-member team. And so, she got a rework and she's doing some damage, but I think maybe having a vulnerable for Icarus to double tap into or something like that might be better. I don't know. You could think about it. It's something to do. A+ for this team also. Good job, Guy with Sword. If you'd like your defense featured on Defense Up, then links are in the description. While you're down there, hit that like button. It really helps me out. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.